Hey everybody and welcome. Today we're going to talk about moving boxes around on your website. So we're going to be working with two properties, float and clear. As you can see, I've already put in some background colors in the different in the different structural elements that we have. And you can see that here I am in the head of my HTML page. You can see that all I have so far are background colors and of course a little width and margin on my wrapper. Float and clear are two properties that are really handy if you want to align things left, right, and really make some layout decisions. So let's get started. I'm here in my nav and I want to make my nav go, instead of across, down on the left-hand side. So I'm going to hit here and I'm going to add in another declaration. I'm going to make my nav have a width. And you'll see that. And then I'm going to give it a float. It's going to float to the left. When I hit reload here, we should see these other elements kind of move around a little bit. There we go. So because this has been identified as floating to the left, everything else on the page will float up to the top and kind of wrap around it. To prevent that from happening, we need to give those elements properties as well. So that would be my main, and I'm going to give that a width. If my nav is 20%, I want to make this a little bit less than 80%, so I have a little bit of space in the middle. 75%, and I'm going slightly less than 80. You know, this is 20, and if that were 80, it would take up 100% of the space here. But I do want a little bit of space between, so I'm going for 75%. And I'm going to give it a float, right? And let's see what happens. Beautiful. So I've got my nav on the left, I've got my main on the right. We still have to deal with this footer, which has no placement properties yet, so it is floating up to the top. We'll come down here and we're going to do a clear. Clear can go left, right, or both. And in this case, we want both because I want that clear to come down here on the bottom. So I don't want anything floating next to it. That's why I use the property clear and the value both. And there you go. It pops right down to the bottom. Okay. The direction you set, you can change and they will switch places if you want. Make this right and make that left. Okay, so you can make your web pages, lay out, and align things however you want. Let's review. Okay, in order to make something go to the side and be aligned with something else, you first have to give it a width so that other things can fit beside it, and then give it a float. Float means that everything else on the page can come up and go alongside it. The only hitch is that sometimes you have something that you don't want to go beside it. For instance, my footer down here. So I have to give that the property of clear. Okay. All right. Have fun moving things around.